Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time it is. I'm glad that you're here. Gregory, good to see you. Lyrica, good to see you. Glad that you're here. So while you're joining in, I want to say hello to you because I always appreciate seeing you. And I'm glad that you're here. We're going to talk tonight about why you are good soil. And yesterday we kicked off our 40 days of fulfillment. We had a great conversation last night, and we're gonna keep it moving. Right, this is our beginning. What's up, Paula? Obama Speaks, good to see you. Good to see everybody checking in. John Bailey, good to see you. So whatever platform that you're on, I'm glad that you're here. I appreciate you. Renette Smith, I'm doing well. Good to see you. Erdan, your dad Logan, good to see you. Good to see everybody. Good to see you. Good to see you. So tonight we are talking about Natalie. What's up? Howdy, howdy. All right. So we're going to continue with our 40 days of fulfillment. And specifically today, I was at Home Depot. I was, walking through. And as soon as I pulled into the parking lot at Home Depot, I saw all these pallets with mulch and soil and all this stuff that they're preparing and getting ready. Hey, Sharon, they're getting ready for the season that's coming. They know that people are going to come to their store with the mindset of, I'm going to get my yard together. I'm going to, pull weeds. I'm going to beautify the situation. And it got me thinking as soon as I saw it that we're stepping into a new season. There's something new that's coming and I'm excited about it. And you should be too, right? We talked about last night, 40 days. If you would commit yourself to 40 days of anything, right? Anything that's going to take your life to the next level, anything that's going to grow you, something that's going to challenge you, whether it's getting out and taking a walk. Perhaps you are fasting physically, food wise, and you're eliminating some stuff from your diet, or you are being intentional about your relationships and making sure that you're present. Perhaps you're taking better care of yourself in terms of sleep habits, whatever it might be. Last night, we talked through a number of different opportunities that you could take, that I could take, so that these next 40 days could be life-changing 40 days. That we don't have to simply go through life thinking that, oh, I'm just kind of left to whatever is going to happen. No, that is not where we are living for these next 40 days. No. We're making an intentional stand to say, I'm going to be defiant to my situation that I'm currently in, and I'm going to do something that moves me into a greater place on purpose. I shared how my church we're heading into a 40-day fast. And in this fast, people are deciding which way they want to go about fasting. Some people are, eliminating sweets. Other people are, just doing like a liquid fast and only doing liquids. Some people are doing water and they're just going to drink water for a period of time. And so whatever it is, you are eliminating something from your life because you fully intend on adding something else to your life. See, the purpose of a fast, and last night we talked about how we could fast from being boring. we could decide, you know what? I'm so tired of being boring. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to intentionally do something that activates my life. You can fast from that. You could say, I'm going to be intentional about doing things that are active, doing things that are adventurous. I'm not going to keep living this way. And so whatever it is in your life that you've been looking at and you've been considering and you've been wondering and you've been contemplating doing it, well, this is your opportunity. This is your time. You don't have to wait for some special moment to happen. You don't have to wait until you hit rock bottom. You don't have to wait until the doctor tells you that you only have a few more days to live. Right? We see that oftentimes in movies. Somebody gets a diagnosis, they have X amount of days to live, and then they decide, now it's time for me to live. No. While you are breathing, this is the time for you to live. Without apology, without letting fear sit there and just loom over your life, you get to make a decision right now to live on purpose, and with purpose, with intention. And so today, as I was looking at the parking lot full with all this soil and mulch and all this good stuff, it got me thinking about how I know in a few days I'm going to be preparing my garden, right? I'm going to start getting my garden together. And right now, there's weeds and leftover stems and branches and all kinds of stuff from last year. So at the end of last year, things die, they start to decompose, and I just leave it there so it can decompose in the soil. The chickens get in there, they scratch it around. But there's a lot of it. So I know I need to go back in and start clearing things out because there's too much clutter in the garden. There's too many things still left over from the last season. And if we're mindful about our lives, we can really look at our last seasons. And if we're being honest, many of us can say, there's still too much stuff left over from my last season. There's still too many things left over from the last relationship. There's still too many habits that I still have that cause me to be in this situation that I'm in now. And I want to change those habits. I want to make a change in my life so I'm not constantly and repeatedly living in this same situation. Right? So what is it when you look at your life, when you look at that last season, if you look at your right now, okay, look at where you are right now in life and recognize that we are the sum total of all of our experiences, our thoughts, everything that's happened in our life. We are the sum total of that. So that some of the things that we have thought in the past, the things that we've done in the past, all of that meets us in our right now moment. And you may or may not be satisfied with where you are right now, which is totally fine. It's okay to look at your life and say, you know what, this isn't enough for me. Okay, fine. And I've seen this play out many times in the gym, right? So someone enters the gym and they're like, Brian, I'm so tired of being where I am. I want to make change. All right, what kind of change do you want? So there's a question we ask. What change do you want? And then we have to answer the question. Now that person might say, Brian, I want to lose 50, 60, 100 pounds. Okay, great. So the moment that you look at your life right now and you decide that you want to make a change, what's going to happen is immediately you send yourself into your future. Okay? So the moment you begin saying, I want to change, and you answer that question, well, what do you want? When you answer the question of what you want, you immediately send yourself into your future. You're going to look all the way out to the end. Like, what do you want? What do you want the end of this process to look like? What do you want this particular point in your journey to look like? What does it look like? I want you to envision it. I want you to see it. What does it look like? Your house being cleaned out? Does it look like you're free from clutter? Does it look like you're not in an abusive relationship anymore? What does it look like? Does it look like your business is growing? Does it look like you're the author of a best-selling book? What does it look like? Have you built a school? What does it look like? And so you go out there and you see it. You envision it. You picture it. And between where you sit and stand right now and what you see, there's this stuff in the middle that is process. That's the journey. Okay. It's exciting to think about it. It can be exciting to imagine it out there, but there's a journey in between. But you got to start off thinking about, where do I want to go? What does it look like at the end of these 40 days, 39 now, at the end of these 30 days, 39 days, what does your life look like? What do the relationships that you want to see changed, what do they look like? What does your environment look like? What does it look like? What does it actually look like? Can you picture it? Can you see it? Do you see the details of it? What are the colors in the room? What does the atmosphere look like? And I'm telling you and encouraging you to do this because you need to, and I need to, we need to be out of our current situation for a moment. And that's what your mind can do. Your mind can take you into a different place. Your mind can get you out of this place into another place. I remember being very young and growing up that when I was playing t-ball, I pictured myself being a professional baseball player. I pictured it. I saw it. I was blessed in my life to be around a lot of professional baseball players. But I pictured it. I saw it. It meant something to me because my mind created something to me that was real. It wasn't just my imagination. That was real to me. I'm like, oh no, I'm going to do that. I'm going to play pro ball. It didn't matter to me that I was in T-ball. my vision was I'm going to play pro ball. In between T-ball and in the major leagues, there's a journey. Along the way, I stopped focusing so much on the major leagues, but I decided, okay, well, now I'm going to go from T-ball to this next level, and coaches will pitch, and then the next level, and we're pitching and playing against each other. And then I started thinking, well, now I want to make an all-star team, and there's a journey. So let's condense that down to 40 days. What does your journey look like? Well, first you start with your vision, what you see. And see, here's the thing. Sometimes our struggle with creating a vision is found in this idea that we're not good enough to have it. So today, part of my encouragement to you is this. I need you to know that you are in a good soil season. This is a good soil season for you, right? That your life can begin to change because this is good soil season for you, and you are good soil. That means there's something in you that can be grown, right? Your life is not, it doesn't have to stay the way that it's been. The things that have gone wrong, this doesn't have to be that way forever for you. No, there is something in you still that can produce life. That's what soil does. When you take a seed, when you take potential and you get it into the right atmosphere with the right soil, then that soil can begin to nourish the seed, and then the seed begins to sprout. It has to break through its outer shell, that thing that's covering it. And so this is what you need to know, that the potential of your life has been waiting for you to recognize that you are good enough, that you are good soil, that there is something in you that can activate what you have in you to life. That what you've been through, what you've experienced, what happened to you, what you did, what you said, where you've been, what you saw, all of those things, none of that gets to hold you back. This is a moment for you. This is a time where you get to make a decision, you get to see your vision, and you say, you know what? Now I go for it. I'm not going to talk myself out of it. I'm not going to be afraid of it. I'm not going to deny myself this opportunity, because I am still breathing. I am going to live. And so you begin to speak to your situation. You begin to speak to your circumstance. You begin to speak to yourself about it. See, you've heard me say this before, that dreams are always in contradiction to our current situation. What does that mean? Whenever you begin to have a dream, whenever you have a vision, it's always going to be about something that does not currently exist. That's the whole point. The whole point of having the dream, having the vision, is it gets to take you from where you are to a whole nother place. I was having some conversations with some business owners today, and we were talking, and the conversation come up. So I was asking them, so what do you want to see in your business? What do you want to see happen? I get it. I see where you are right now, but what do you want to see happen? Because we need to go into your future so that we can walk this thing back to your present, so that we can go on the journey to get back to your future. There's a process. You go from here to out there. See the end from the beginning. Then you work it back. And know that in this moment, the dream that you had, the vision that you had, the thing that you see, the relationship that you desire, the marriage that you want, the body that you crave to have, the body that you're willing to work for, all of that vision, like it's inside of you, that's inside of you too. See, the thing is, the vision you have for your future, you become that. How do I know? Well, let's go back to the soil. Let's take it natural. You're like, oh, this sounds so just kind of like fluffy in the sky stuff. No, it's not. Let's bring it back to the natural. Where do you find an apple tree? You find an apple tree inside of an apple seed. The tree is inside the seed. It doesn't make sense though. Let's personify the seed, if that seed is sitting there thinking, man, here I am amongst all these apple trees, and I'm just a seed. There's no way that I will become a tree. If that seed doesn't break through that thinking, and I know I'm personifying a seed, but if that seed doesn't break through the shell of that thinking, it will never become the tree. See, you and I have experiences in life that cause us to work against our nature. See, the truth is, our nature, the nature of you and I, is to become everything that we are destined and capable of being. We actually do not want to operate beneath our potential. I was talking to my daughter just a little bit ago, and she sent me a text message, the same one that she's talked about being an FBI agent, and she wanted to be an FBI agent. And so we were like, I was like, okay, well, here, I'm gonna, we're gonna go to the gun range. I want you to learn all this stuff. I was like, hey, learn how to ride a horse. I was like, learn as many things as you want. You want to be a special agent? Great. I'm like, be a weapons specialist then. She's like, yep, that's what I do want to be, a weapons specialist. Fine. I'm like, here it is. I want you to learn how to take apart this gun with your eyes closed, with a blindfold on. Like, so we went through this. But a few minutes ago, we were having a conversation, and she says to me, Dad, I want to take flying lessons. I'm interested in aviation. Cool. I was like, I'm so glad that you think that way. Absolutely, yes, I am. She's like, do you know the aviation place? I said, look, I've checked into that before. I thought about taking some aviation lessons, and I said, we're going to find a place. See, in her right now, she doesn't even have her driver's license yet. But she's like, but I'm thinking about flying. See, but I know that that's in her. I don't have to talk you out of that. I don't have to tell you, girl, nobody in our family has ever done that. Like, I don't have to start running down the script of nothing. I'm not going to tell you, as a woman, you can't do it. As a teenager, you can't. I'm not putting any limitations on her. Shame on me if I do. I'm like, no. That's what cool. Let's do that. Let's figure that out. Let's find a way. See, and we're family, right? We can be family here in this moment. I'm just going to encourage you to say the same thing. What are your aviation lessons? What are your flying lessons? What is it that you desire? What is it that you see that says, no, this is not the norm. This is not what I'm used to, but I want it. I want to do it. She didn't ask me how much it costs. She didn't ask me any of that. She said, I want this, Dad, I want to do this. She didn't go shopping for her dreams with a price tag. She didn't do that. Don't you do it. Just because you're a grown adult, don't think that you're gonna get there if you're like, oh, you know what? Let me price tag. Let me make sure my current budget fits my dreams. What? It's not even a dream. If your current budget fits a dream and you can just go pay for it and just do it now, that ain't a dream. That's just you not going out to go shopping yet. If you can already do it, if it requires no stretch, if it requires no growth, then you already have what you dreamed about. Come on now. The reason I'm thinking about the garden is because the garden is not there right now. I could think about last year's garden, how wonderful those tomatoes were, how the watermelons were, but I don't have this season's garden. So I'm thinking about it. Now I'm starting to plan it, starting to strategize. And there's this thing that we can do with seeds. When we look at seeds and we say, okay, I know right now, if you ever look and I encourage you, matter of fact, I challenge you to go take $2 and go to the store and go buy yourself a pack of seeds. Go look at the back of the pack of seeds and see what it says. It's going to tell you things about when you get to plant those seeds and when you should and how you should start them. It's going to give you instructions. Why? Because the people that most know about the seed potential say there's a process for this seed to reach its maximum growth and bear fruit. We like to think that there's no process and we can just do things and it'll just happen. That works against nature. And we get frustrated when it takes a long time. See, on the back of the packet, it'll tell you, oh, these will mature in 70, 90 days. And I know somebody right now is like, Brian, but it seems like my whole life I've never matured. There might be an environmental problem. There might be an environmental issue. You might be in an environment that is so depleted that it does not nourish you, that it does not enrich your soil. See, there's the thing about you being good soil. You are good soil. But guess what? If you take good soil and you put it amongst just a depleted atmosphere, and then you try to plant something great, no, it's not going to happen. Think about it for a moment. Think about it for a moment. Take some good soil. Go to any parking lot. Just dump the soil out right there. Put some seeds in it and see what grows. See how long it's going to be able to sustain life. Here's why it's not going to happen. First of all, the roots are not going to be able to go deep enough. It's wrong atmosphere. The atmosphere around the soil is not conducive to the soil. This is why this is important. You, as good soil, are in the right atmosphere right now. Because you're hearing a conversation that you're actually saying yes to, because now you're hearing a conversation that says, you know what, that actually feels a lot more like me than what I've normally experienced. See, this person that is saying some things to me that resonates with me. The reason why I know is because I didn't make this up. Here it comes. For those of you that are not Bible people and you don't like God and all that, just cover your ears. I would suggest you don't, because I'm about to tell you right in the beginning of the Bible, right in Genesis, God said this. God said, be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, have dominion. You and I were created to have dominion, which means there is a domain in which we are to prosper in. You're good soil. You're not broken. The seed in you is not dead. You've just been around the wrong people. You ever been in a relationship with someone and you wonder why, like, this relationship just isn't thriving? It's not growing. There's no passion. There's no intimacy. There's no connection. Our communication is horrible. You wonder why? It's the wrong soil. It's the wrong environment. It just doesn't work. And so if you plant a seed in that, it's not going to work. See, some environments you can plant a seed amongst stone. Nah, the birds will eat that. It won't be able to take root. You have to look, you have to find, you have to seek after the right environment for you. See, this challenge of 40 days of fulfillment, living your life, taking intentional action to become the best of yourself. This is not something just to tickle your ears. The world is, there are people in this world that are waiting for you to show up. Even more intimately, there is a person that is waiting for you to show up. There's an assignment that is waiting for you to show up. And yet you've been talking yourself out of it because the wrong environment that won't enrich you just keeps the seed from growing, because you're like, I just don't understand what, and you ask this question, right? What's wrong with me? I don't know what's wrong with me. No. Well, let's look, let's take a broader view. Ask yourself, for the greatness that I dream about, the things that I see, is this environment actually conducive to what I'm thinking about? Right? You think you're great, right? You have a sense that there's some greatness in you. Greatness is found in service, by the way. If you want to be great, you serve. Okay, so You have to have the capacity for serving. That's where greatness comes from. And so when you think about it, you think about, where can I serve in such a way that my greatness is revealed? For some, it might be in a classroom. For some, it might be in a gym. For some, it might be in a boardroom. For some, it might be with computers. For some, it might be for children or with animals or wherever. Some might create with a pen and paper and write amazing pieces of literature, whatever it is. Ask yourself, for this area, am I in the right environment for this to grow? You want to write a book, but you don't hang around any authors. You're an entrepreneur, but you don't hang around any other entrepreneurs. Come on now. Hey, wait a second. Is this environment conducive to what my dream is? Here's what I can tell you. Before 12 and a half years ago, I hung out with no horse people. I didn't know any horse people. I didn't know where to find a horse. I didn't know anything about horses. But when I became a horse person, when my daughter said, "Dad, will you buy me a horse?" And I said, "Yes, I'll buy you a horse." And when I bought that horse, guess what I started to find? My commitment to the horse led me to being around horse people. Now I can spot them a mile away. I see the stickers on their cars. I know where to find them. I know where to find horse people. I know how to hang out with them. I know in a couple of days, on March 2nd, 3rd, I know right in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, there's going to be a gathering of horse people, the World Horse Expo. Guess where I'll be? Lord willing, I'm going to be right in Harrisburg amongst horse people, talking horse talk, learning horse things. See, you're so busy thinking about, oh, well, why it's not going to work. You got to make the commitment first. Make the commitment first. Say, yeah, I'm gonna go all in and do this thing. Yeah, I understand. I got this extra weight on me. So I want to lose weight. I'm committed to losing weight. And guess what? You can start finding some other people. You'll find some other people that are on the journey too. You're like, all right, hey, I just want to get around you. Can we hang out together? Can we talk? And what are some things that are helping you? And here's something that's helping me. And you start getting around them. Anything that you really decide and commit that you want to do, you can find a group for that. I mean, look, you can find just about everything in the Facebook group. But being around, I'm like, all right, I want to write a book. Who do I get around? Authors. All right, I'm going to start a podcast. Who do you get around? Podcasters. Like, what is it? See, you without your lack of commitment, here's what's happening. You are holding the seed. You're not planting the seed. There's a difference. The reason why you are not seeing the change in your life that you want to see is because you're holding the seed. Seed is given to the sower. What does that mean? Here's what it means. When you take a seed and you plant it into a healthy environment that can enrich it, you got to plant it into the right environment. You take the seed, you plant it into the right environment, what happens? Let's use the apple seed. The apple seed breaks its shell. See, it's not the seed that we're looking for. We take the apple seed and we put it in the environment, and then that apple seed with all the potential on the inside, that potential says, oh my gosh, I found an environment. This environment is doing something for me. I have to break out of this. Now I got to break the seed. I got to break this shell. I have to break the rules. See, what happens is a shell is a rule. It is the thing that is ruling over the potential that's on the inside. But you say, no, I'm in the right environment. I'm about to break the rules. I'm about to get out of this space. You break the shell, break the rules. The thing that's been ruling over it, you break it. Then that seed and the potential on the inside, that potential says, okay, now I'm starting to pull some nourishment from this environment. There's something about it. It's nourishing me. I'm growing. Now I'm starting to lay some roots. My roots are spreading out. And so now I'm spreading out, and then soon it starts spreading up. It's still operating in the darkness with all of this pressure all around it. And because that's what happens. You put a seed in the soil and pack dirt around it, there's pressure all around it. So it's operating in the dark by itself, but it's decided that it's going to break the rule. And then it begins to grow. It grows out, and then it starts to grow up. Why? Now it's seeking after the sun. It's seeking after the illumination. It's seeking after the knowledge. It's seeking after the brilliance that is above. So now I'm moving above. I'm reaching for that. I'm moving towards the greater thing. And then it starts to grow. It breaks the soil. Starts to see the sun. It's not out of harm's way. People will still step on it. Dogs might still try to pee on it. There's stuff. There are some elements, some conditions. The winds may blow, the rains will come, but I'm going to keep on growing. That seed is turning into what? It is becoming the tree. That seed grows up, becomes a tree. The tree bears fruit. Inside of the fruit of an apple are what? More apple seeds. And so the person that sows the seed and cultivates through the process can bear fruit in a different season, not in the same season. There is seed time and harvest. Seed time, harvest. When the tree grows up, then you can see and it's going to bear fruit. This is all natural. We know this is going to happen. You plant a seed, you don't expect a tree the next day. You expect the tree over time, and then it bears fruit over time. And guess what? The strongest trees take the longest time. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just really strong. You've endured a lot of stuff. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just really strong. And then when you bear fruit, you open it. Then you're going to see exponentially more seeds. No one has ever planted one seed, got an apple from that tree, and then opened it up and found one seed. It's not what happens. When you plant your one seed and you go through the process and you start bearing fruit and you open that fruit up, there are going to be exponentially more seeds. But that's not the thing. There's not an apple tree with just one apple. I go apple picking every year. Mostly, well, I like apple crisp and apple pie, but mostly because I like to see the analogy. I like to see it played out. And I've never once found just one apple on the tree. There's always more. And so just imagine now, think about your life bearing fruit. Think about your life as a fruit-bearing tree. You'll know a tree by its fruit. Think of your life as a tree bearing fruit. And you start to say, when you make the commitment, you're like, I'm so healthy. I'm so strong. I am a writer. I am a singer. I am whatever it is that you do to impact the world. And you start bearing fruit. Your book now has turned into a series of books. Your song has now turned into an album. Your business has now turned into a franchise. Your relationship has now turned into enriched days and years. I told you just recently, my grandfather passed away, but my grandparents had 75 years of life together. That's a marriage that bared fruit. Exponentially more seeds. But you have to let go of the seed you've been holding on to. That is the key. But don't just release it anywhere. Seed is not supposed to be, I know we live in a world where people just scatter seed all over the place, you know what I'm saying? Right? They just, I'm just going to go from place to place, just dumping seed. No. Seed is sacred. This is why relationships look the way they look, because people aren't sacred with the seed. No. Be sacred with the seed. And then you make a seed into the right environment. And then you cultivate that environment and you grow it in that environment. And it looks a lot different. But you got to release a seed into a sacred place. What is a sacred place? A sacred place is a place that has been set aside and is special. You are carrying sacred seed for a sacred environment. Your purpose is so great that you can't go wasting it. Time is ticking. Stop talking to every person and having relationships with every person and dating every person, just sampling. No, stop sampling. Get specific. Don't just be sampling. No, they're going to, you don't need everybody taking a bite of your fruit. Stop wasting your gift with the wrong people. You know they don't care about you. Listen, I'm talking to you as much as I'm talking to myself right now, because there are some people I've wasted time with. They didn't take it. I need to move on. I need to stop having the same conversations with the same people. I'm like, no, you're not the right environment, because the right environment wants to go. I'm not sitting here. I'm not trying to negotiate with you whether or not you want to grow. Like, what? If I got to convince you to grow, no. You're not my person. Not for this season of my life. You're not. See, this is where we got to just take a stand, like, and understand the season that you're in. For this season in my life, if you're not trying to grow, I'm not your person. Like, and it's okay. All right, let's stop trying to convince everybody that it works. There's this phrase, and I'm gonna shut it down. Like, people say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Okay. But if you find thirsty horses, you don't even got to worry about it. When you find thirsty horses, you're filling the bucket and they're drinking it while you're filling it. See, that's what I know. There's a difference. I've seen a horse be thirsty when I'm filling the bucket and they're drinking the water down. They're drinking more than is going in. So, guess what? Stop looking to try to convince somebody to be a thirsty horse. Stop trying to convince everybody of the dream and vision that's inside of you. You just start going and get around the right atmosphere, right environment, because guess what those people are going to say? They're going to say, oh, so you have an idea to write a book. Oh, great. This is an environment. We're all new authors. We're all starting off. And this person right here, they're our coach, and they've written 100 books, and they're teaching us how to do it. Come on in. The weather's great in here. So you got to listen to what people say. Get around the right people. The ones that welcome you in and say, hey, yeah, we're going on this journey. You can come with us. Let's go. You can do this. I'm in this authors group, and like, this is what happens. This is how I know. I run my own groups too, and this is what happens. This is what I know. You get around the right people, they're not discouraging you because they know they're on the journey too, and they don't want to be discouraged. They're like, look, let's go. Come on, you can do this. And then you learn to celebrate people, because the thing that you celebrate is the very thing you want to see in your life. So you learn how to be somebody that can clap for somebody else. And guess what? It keeps you moving. So here's what we do tonight. You think out to the end. See the end from the beginning. Not the end of everything, but see the end of the 40 days. Let's just start there. We're not doing 365. There's not a year, none of that. No. Think out 40 days, 39 now. Think out 39 days, or you can start again fresh, 40. Think all the way out. What does it look like? Maybe you're down 5, 10, 15 pounds. Maybe you have been in touch with your loved ones that you don't normally talk to. Maybe you wrote your business plan. Maybe you started your Facebook group. Maybe you posted your first few live videos, whatever it is. What does it look like at your finish line? Then we're going to bring that back to right now and say, my potential that I hold and have been holding on to, I now release into my life. Your potential has to be released by you in order for it to flow through you. Decision's yours. Lord, thank you for this day, your many wonderful blessings, and this opportunity to have life, to celebrate this day and to rejoice in this day and to be happy in this day and glad. Thank you for this. Thank you for each and every person that is here now, those that are here on Team Replay. Thank you for all of them. Thank you for the potential that is in this good environment. This good soil environment, thank you, Lord, for each and every person that is here, and they are here because there is about to be the regenesis of their life. This is a fresh start. This is a fresh start, new good soil season. And so because they are here right now and they are making the decision and the commitment to go, I pray that you would bless them as they do. I pray that their healing, their transformations, the change that they desire, the change that they envision would show up even as they go, that they would be healed in the process, that they wouldn't be looking for the tree to be bearing fruit the moment they plant the seed, but that they would celebrate that they're planting the seed. And then tomorrow they can celebrate cultivating. And day by day, let them enjoy the journey of becoming all that they are capable of being. I pray that our minds would actively seek out the environments that would most help us to flourish. I pray that you would give us eyes to see and ears to hear so that we could be guided in direction, so that we can recognize the environment that is for us. Help us, strengthen us to leave the places that we do not belong in anymore. Help us not to just be out here looking around for places to go while we just stay where we are. So I pray for an activation to happen. I pray for activity to happen. I pray for movement to happen. I pray that as we move and we begin to see the different environment around us, that we move even the more. So I pray for boldness and courage. I pray for wisdom so we know who to share with and who we know not to talk to. And I pray that this would be the start of the most wonderful season, prosperous season that we have yet seen in life. Let this be our regenesis, our kickoff, our fresh start, our new season. We thank you in advance for being with us, leading us, guiding us. We thank you in advance for the wonderful and amazing stories and testimonies that will come from this time and this season. And so we thank you because we can count it as done. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. All right. This is it. Let's go now. This is go time. We go. All right. So what's tomorrow? Friday? Yes. Tomorrow, let's check in. When we have our live tomorrow, check in with some proof that you have taken action. Okay? Like this, we can't just talk about this. We are action people. We are take action people. So between now and tomorrow, there has to be some steps, people. We got to do some things. We got to take some action. So tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be back. Lord willing, I'm gonna be here. Okay. Show up with some proof. I'm going to ask. I'm like, hey, what's your proof? Every time you see me from now on, you can just anticipate. I'm going to ask you, what's the proof that you took action today? So just have it on your lips, have it ready to go. Like, this is accountability, right? Like, oh, what's the proof? Oh, I did this. I did this. I did the thing. Okay. So like, boom, do it, get it. Do it. Just do it. One day at a time. Do it. And your life is going to be different. All right. Have a blessed rest of your night. I love you much. I'm B.A. Shepherd, 2 P's, A-R-D, reminding you to be a shepherd. The world has enough sheep. See ya.